Hi, this is Wayne from Star Action Figures, making our first YouTube video and introducing you to our new line of display cases. Just to point out, I'm not a natural video maker, so this is likely to be my first and last video. In future I'll leave them to Harry and Ollie. So sorry for any pauses and any mistakes I make. I'm not, as I say, it's not my thing. But these are our new cases, foldable cases. We've been talking about them for a while on Facebook and they're finally here. We're going to call them SAF-DC, Star Action Figure Display Case. They're available to pre-order now, as well as order samples from staractionfigures.co.uk. You'll find a display case tab on the top of the page, but you'll also see them, as you have for the last month, pages sitting at the top of each of the categories on the home page. So, what makes our cases different and, in our opinion, better than what's currently out there on the market? I've been talking about three main points. The first point, while not that major, our cases are 0.5mm thick plastic. It makes them more sturdy, as you can see. They stand up quite easily on their own, all sizes, very sturdy. This is a competitor's case, as you can see, with the thinner plastic. The bottom's bowed slightly, doesn't sit very flat, and the more rigid plastic just helps out. So that's the first point. Second point is, and I think quite a major point, is they are, got to be careful to not use the word proof. They're scratch resistant. Nothing scratch proof, but these resist scratches. So if you was to store your figures in a box like this, you can actually go through them now and again and see what you've got. All the rubbing together and moving them in and out. You can't see it here, but there's virtually nothing, no marks on there. To the point, if we get a competitor's case and one of ours, these thin ones are going to be obviously the most unstable ones. Rub them together. Don't know if you can pick up on there. It's almost like, best way to describe it is like a little cobweb, like you see on the grass in the early morning. Lots of little scratches. On our one, on the SAF-DC, you can see, I'm not going to lie, you can see a couple, but it's far more resistant to scratches than standard plastic. This is why we're offering you free samples. You can come on the home page and order a couple of samples. We say free, but they're a penny each because that's the only way we can do it without reprogramming the site. We will be dropping free samples into just regular orders as we have time. We may just drop a flat packed one in. This is how they come, flat packed. But we'll be doing that over the next few weeks. These 6 cases are the ones we have at the moment. These are the production cases. This is how they are. We will be taking pre-orders for these, and I think about another 15 different sizes. Depending on how popular they are, we'll expand the range to include virtually any case you want. If you want it, we'll make it. So it's going to be a slow process. We're not going to rush in and order 1,000 different sizes. We're going to do the most popular ones to start with. To say these 6, along with another 15 or so available pre-order now. The main production delivery will be end of September, October. Any of these samples we have left over, we will ship out as and when. Probably next month. If there's any small orders and we can fill them with what we've got, we will. But expect pre-orders October to be safe. So that's the second point. Third point, and I think is a major point, and this is the point that surprised me more than anything, and that is these are UV resistant. So what I say, all cases are UV resistant, aren't they? Yeah, they are. But it depends on what level of UV resistant you're talking about. If something's 1% UV resistant, technically it's UV resistant. So, what is currently out there, including our standard samples we had made? Firstly, going quickly, the first one I'm going to show you is clamshell. Can't really disguise who that's from. I'm not going to name and shame anyone. These are just cases we have brought to see what is on offer before we decided to do this. Clamshells, we were going to do clamshells, but in the end I've decided not to. This is purely based on my own experience with my own collection. So these have been in storage for about 10 years, ever since VC1 ended, and as you can see the card's bowed. I did ask on Facebook if anyone else has a similar experience, and a lot of people have had this problem, so we're not going to do clamshells. What I am going to try, I wouldn't recommend this, it's up to you if you want to try it, just a bit of simple polystyrene you can get from builders merchants or B&Q, places like that. And I'm going to put a number of these into deep storage, and then every year we'll pull them out and see if that's the trick to keep the card flat and stop the card bowing. As I say, I don't know if this polystyrene is going to damage the card or any long-term effects, which is why we're going to test it out, but it's just an idea. Anyway, back to the UV. As I say, I'm going to try and hide the logos, so I don't want to get into any petty arguments with people, but this is a UV meter. First number here is the light that penetrates, so obviously there's nothing in it, it's 100% of the light's getting through. Second one here is the UV protection. So obviously it's 0 at the moment because there's nothing in there, so there's no UV rays are being stopped. So first one to test, 29% UV protection. Now I just want to point out we've got a couple of lamps, you probably picked up the reflection. There's a natural light above us, so this may fluctuate slightly because there's many light sources, but 29%. Another brand obtained in the UK, excuse me. Just remember to look at the viewfinder. There you go, 27%, 28%. Then we have a few different ones. Again, UK supplier. Less than 20% on that vintage case. A slightly bigger one. Where are we? 20. There is a sweet point there. You think I've found it? There you go. 21%. And the larger case. Here we are, 20, that one's 24.5, 25%. So that's what's currently out there. So, Star Action Figures cases. Start with the large anniversary one. $98.6, $98.5. I'm happy with that. We asked the factory for minimum 90%. They've come back with this, and we've now said we need it minimum 95%. So we're not going to guarantee every case is going to be 98.5%, because over time, different batches of plastic will have different protection ratings. We can't get it 100%, but we're going to say we're going to aim for a minimum 95, and now they supplied these at 98.5. That's their benchmark that we're going to hold them to. You can see that they have a little lock on there. I'm quite impressed with this lock. The samples we had, we actually forgot to put the lock on, and we went back and just trusted them to put a lock on, and it gives quite a satisfying little click. Oh, actually you have to put it in the slot, and that holds it in place very well. That's not opening on its own, but they are quite simple just to pull open. So yeah, quite impressed with that. So it's talking UV rays, and on this one comes in at, where are we, 97.5%. So yeah, we're aiming for over 95. Certainly going to be anything in the 20s. So there we have it. I think I've already done the rubbing together test, haven't I? Like that, but again, that's why we're saying never sample. They'll come flat packed, probably like this. So that's the SAF DC range of foldable cases. Price wise, much better quality plastic, scratch resistant, actually UV resistant. I expect you are thinking they're going to be quite higher than what's already out on the market. Well, we plan, it all comes down to size of plastic. The amount of plastic used dictates how much the box costs. These will be, to start with, they're going to be £1.50. I don't think they're going to go up much, if anything, from that. We'll also be having regular sales, and there'll be a launch discount of 20% on all the cases. I'll say from £1.50, that doesn't mean you need to buy 10,000 of them to get the £1.50 price. If you buy one, you'll get them for £1.50. We might add tiers later. They tend to come packed in boxes of around 180, so we might offer a discount just to have a sealed box of them. We might change that down. I don't know. We're going to play it by ear. We'll do it as we go. But that size is going to be £1.50. This larger one, obviously, a lot more plastic. We can get in at about £2, same as the Marvel one. I think the Diamond Select one we have is £2.50. And obviously, as they go up in size, they're going to become more expensive. But these are going to be the popular ones, and yeah, £1.50 each, with regular discounts. The one that, when you receive a case, you're going to get a leaflet just with a feedback address on there. Welcome all feedback, whether on the Facebook posts or via the email. One I would like just you to pay a bit more attention to is the Marvel one. Showing this to a few people, it may be a little bit tight, so if you can give us feedback on that. A couple of people said no, it fits perfect. I'm not so sure, so any feedback on that will be welcome. The others are fine. They give a slight little give, which obviously you need because of production tolerances. And there we have it. So we know clamshells. The acrylics are due to land next month. We've made a few changes to what's currently out there. We'll do the same UV tests out of fairness. And we'll show you why we think ours offer an advantage over anything currently out there. We have thought about doing a standard range, and for full clarity, this was one of the standard samples we had. And as you can see on that, the UV was like the others, just standard plastic. If you want a standard line that offers lower protection, and also obviously be non-scratch, be 0.3mm, let us know. The pricing isn't going to be a lot of difference, to be honest. We've got these priced as low as we can. Wanted to break the £1 barrier, which we would be able to do if we was to sell the standard one in box sets, but currently we don't really think it's worth it. If you can get a scratch resistant UV protected case, why would you want this cheap standard one that will scuff up after no time? So anyway, that's it for now. Sorry if I've droned on. As I say, the boys will be taking care of the YouTube channel moving forward, and any questions, please ask.